Hey, what is up, guys? Today we're going to be watching a video that is titled 12-Year-Old's Online Threat Turns into a Felony Arrest. And I'm going to be honest, this does not give me a lot of hope for the future generations, mine and myself included. And yeah, without further ado, we're going to get right into the video. For a little more backstory, basically, the main focus of this video, this kid was reported by his friends because he sent threats to a group chat. And along with those threats, he also sent images of his illegal knives. So, what better than to threaten someone and then give them the evidence as well? I gotta love it with you guys. The kid is not gonna be the main focus of the video. It's more gonna be based around how his parents handle this whole situation, and you're gonna want to stick to the end because there's a real switcheroo at the end. They seem to handle it very well, and then it just does a complete 180. So you're gonna want to watch this whole thing.
On September 25, 2025, a concerned student reports his 12-year-old classmate after receiving a threat in a group chat, along with photos of his knife collection.
I'm going to give you guys a little pro tip. If you ever plan on threatening someone, do not include pictures of the knife or the weapon you're planning to use to threaten them with. Like, seriously, you're making the cop's job just way too easy. At least let them work for it a little bit.
Someone called about some threats that made. I was just curious. Are you aware of his number? Do you know what his number? Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to pause the video here. I feel like this is where the first problem arises. Speaking as a former 12-year-old boy, we do not have enough development in our prefrontal cortexes to actually responsibly use cell phones. And I understand from a parent's perspective wanting to be able to stay in contact with your kid and make sure they're not doing anything dangerous or just being aware of their whereabouts. But you got to let them be kids a little bit longer. And there's other ways to be aware of their whereabouts that do not rely on giving your kid a phone.
We may end up seizing those knives as well as evidence.
Has he ever done anything illegal before?
No,
Never been in trouble or anything?
not a little bit of trouble, but it was last year. He was
Over
kind
at
of
the
involved, but he wasn't sort of involved, so the charges were dropped.
He got into a little bit of trouble, but it was last year. She says this as though some vast amount of time has passed and that this is a completely changed kid. Okay, this cop asked if he had ever gotten into any trouble before, and she says no. And then in the same breath, she proceeds to say that there were charges involved for this trouble that they got into. Um, I'm no expert on what would be considered trouble, but if there are charges involved, I'm gonna go on the limb here and say that that would be considered trouble. And then she deflects everything, saying that he was involved, but he wasn't actually involved, showing that she's truly not going to take any accountability for him or the son, and that she is probably going to shelter him. And my guess is that he is probably a little bit of a rebel rouser, and he comes home and she says he's not the problem, that it's the other kids are the problem, that there's something else is the problem. So I have a feeling this won't end here.
with the phone.
Stop.
Just relax, okay?
You have to
Don't deep breath, alright?
Okay, I'm gonna pause it again. The way he just says "ow" for his mom simply grabbing his arm to move him to the side is just a bit baffling to me. Because if I found myself in the same situation, excuse my French here, but my parents would have their foot so far up my ass that I would need my dentist to remove it.
Knife that is in that photograph, I am going to be taking as evidence. It'll be held until the case is over with, and then at that point, it will likely go to one of you.
What do you mean the case is over? Like,
The knives.
no, I don't care about that.
I said you shouldn't have fucking knives. I don't know who decided to buy them all these fucking knives.
Evidence because they were used in a threat, and well, they're just doing their standard process. And the mom is freaking out about the kid going. understandably. And the dad is more concerned about who bought them the knives. And I grew up on a farm in the middle of nowhere. I had knives, axes, a lot of stuff that young children probably should not have. And never once did I ever consider using them on someone else. And I was bullied. I was bullied regularly. I was a bigger kid. So I was subject to the playground insults. And at no point in time did I ever consider threatening someone or shooting up a school. I think it's a lot less about the gun and more about whoever's using it. Because at the end of the day, anyone that's going to have a gun for malicious purposes is going to have a gun or find a way to get it, or in this case, a knife. Come forward a little bit because you're not really missing out on much. They're just explaining to him how he's going to a holding facility before being taken to a DJJ. And, I got to say, the dad in this case, I feel as though he handled it very well. He asked all the right questions. Apart from the start, when he was deflecting accountability about who bought them the knives and not why is my son thinking of using these to poke people, he's done very well. The dad seems like a very level-headed guy. And what's coming up next is it's something you're gonna want to watch this.
Yeah, I like dogs. Everyone, pull your car up.
You'll soon, okay? I promise. You'll soon, okay? You hear me? They're just gonna talk to you. You'll be okay. Don't worry. You're stupid. You made a stupid mistake. And everything, me and Daddy will be here. You'll come
Once,
soon, okay?
once my partner pulls up,
Please?
we'll
Okay, don't worry.
all that
Everything
taken
will be
care of.
okay. Promise? Me and Daddy are here. I promise you will fix it.
All right, honey, let him go.
Thank you.
Hold on.
I find it hard to believe that this mom is completely unaware of the precedent that she's setting by holding on to him, hugging, well, bawling her eyes out, saying that mommy and daddy will fix this. She's teaching this kid that no matter what he does, in this case, threatening to commit mass murder, mommy and daddy will fix it and you won't have any problems. Now, if I'm being completely honest, I feel like this isn't even an extreme case of enabling. I feel like this has become the closer to the standard with parents and how they refuse to take any accountability. Now, some of you may ask, what credentials do I have to speak about parenting? The answer to that would be absolutely none. I have never parented a child. I can barely keep a houseplant alive, but this is strictly observational. If your kid's threatening to murder people, don't enable them and make sure that all their problems go away. Like, let them suffer a little bit. Okay, so I jump forward again because really all that happened in the next few minutes is the cop driving him to the station and actually giving him some really decent advice, probably better than what his parents would be. He even asks if he likes rap music. They're playing some rap music on the drive to the station, talking about Twitch streamers. Like, this cop seems like overall a pretty cool dude. I think he lucked out with the cop he got.
To ask if somebody had texted my son saying that he was going to come and find him and touch him, I think is how he worded it. Is that considered a written threat?
And explain touch. Are we talking sexually or are we talking physically?
No, physically, like fighting him.
And they go to school together?
Yes.
Did he express when he's going to do this, or is just a general statement?
No, just a general statement. He was the one that was just charged with written threats and arrested on Thursday night. He's the kid that sent the picture of the knives.
I mean, I have no idea about any of that. Your son was arrested?
He was.
Okay.
But in the conversation, another kid also threatened to beat his ass. This other kid threatened to touch him. Meaning I'm going to come beat your ass. No, it happened on Thursday.
Yeah, I want to say it's weird how the dad keeps saying threaten to touch them instead of saying beat up. Like, I wonder why he's choosing this semantic. It feels to me like he's trying to give it some kind of sexual connotation, which whatever his reasoning may be, it's weird. And then on another note, I am no expert on this subject, but I feel like there is a bit of a gap between, hey, I'm gonna beat you up and I'm gonna kill you and commit mass murder. And like I said, I'm not an expert, but treating them the same just does not seem all that logical to me. With that being said, I don't think threatening to beat someone up is okay. I'm not saying that is a fine thing to do, but I'm saying it's not the same as threatening to kill someone and a bunch of other people.
That's a chargeable offense because I don't understand why the other kid wasn't arrested.
Basically, why did the other kid not get arrested?
Exactly, and whether or not I can press charges on the other kid for threatening him. One of the other kids in the group text threatened.
Can I press charges on the other kid for threatening him? So, oh my God, these things write themselves, don't they? They are unable to take accountability for their son. They blame the knives over his actions. Like earlier, they were blaming the fact that he had a knife collection and not blaming or even willing to acknowledge that his actions were what led to this and not his knife collection. And now, this same person wants to charge another kid for threatening to beat up his son, which I understand wanting to protect your kid, but this is really just a you wronged me, so I'm gonna wrong you back type situation, which is not doing anything for this kid, and it's really not doing anything beneficial for any parties involved. And again, it's just teaching their son another precedent that if I do anything wrong, my daddy will sue someone to get me out of it. What's that gonna teach him?
All right. If I need to speak to him about it, then that's what I'll do. If there's a potential charge, written threats that I can place on this other kid, that's the route that I want to go. Because
Okay,
my son's not the only one that did something wrong in this situation.
Okay, so for the rest of the video, he is really only talking about how he wants to charge this kid and if there's any way he can do it, and he's asking for any possible charges he could place on this kid. And I feel like that's not really worth watching. But I don't know about you guys, but I think we need to bring back accountability. Okay, so I feel like that's all we need to watch from this video because the dad just proceeds to ask this cop every single question if there's any charges that he can place on this other kid, which in of itself I feel like is not a good thing. This is a grown man pursuing a child, trying to sue him with whatever sticks. Really, I feel like I have nothing else to say on the subject, so I'm gonna end the video here. And if you're still here, thank you so much for watching this. I appreciate you as a person. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.